for today. Hello, Jonas. I see Jonas coming in. For this particular subject, we will only be meeting once a week. So every meeting would really be very important. I can see Andre coming in as well. So good afternoon to everybody. So let us start with the orientation. So the subject that I will be discussing and I will be formally handling your lecture with will be quality assurance, instrumentation, and laboratory entrepreneurship. So um, by shortcut, we call it Quaile or Quale. Okay, so later on, I'll be discussing much of the topic, much of the different areas that we're gonna talk about with regards to this particular course. I think this is the second time that this subject will be offered in under the College of Medical Technology. So we're very excited and we're very thrilled that you will be under this subject because this will be your introduction to many of your clinical subjects next semester. And I just want to reiterate that because I don't know if you realize, guys, but you are just a semester away from your clinical year. So that white uniform, those clinical subjects is just a semester away. So our goal here, okay, our goal here is not for me to become an enemy of yours, but for us, okay, you the students and I myself will become teammates in making sure that not only will you pass, but you will be able to really learn the concepts and principles that we're going to discuss from this day on. Okay, so um, first, let me start by saying that we will be continuing with our online platform this semester. I know that a lot of things have changed already. A lot of things have been put into much uncertainty. But one thing is for sure, we need to carry on, specifically you guys, because you will be the next frontliners of our country, or probably next doctors in the future. So we really need to cope up and adapt to this fast changing world. Not only changing but also really it's really a revolutionary change because of this pandemic. So it happened in our lifetime, and I hope na all of you are really learning not only the lessons academically but also real life lessons that you need to learn in the midst of this pandemic. So of course, a Trinity CMT orientation will not be complete without reiterating again and again the vision and mission of Trinity University of Asia. I just want to highlight particular points in this particular vision that I would use as a springboard in my explanation for our orientation. So, as you all know, our goal, the vision of Trinity University of Asia is to become a premier Christian university in the Asia and the Pacific, transforming a community of learners into becoming leaders toward a humane society. So I want to highlight the word leader right now. I know perhaps most of you are wondering why would leadership be something that will be develop at this particular time. Kasi you don't have your classmate, you don't have a physical group to really lead or interact with. But we're forgetting one person, okay? We're forgetting one person. And for me, that is the most important person to lead, and that is ourselves. So what I'm talking about is self-leadership. Big factor of what had happened in your first semester perhaps would be attributed to your self leadership. How you manage yourself during the online classes would really determine the amount of stress, of course, the difficulty. It would add up to your difficulty coping up on the online classes. So hopefully, whatever works for you last semester, okay, whatever works for you last semester, you would be able to continue that. And those things that you think will not be working for you need to um, remove that and replace it with a new habit or a new technique on how you could cope up much better. So specifically for this particular subject, there will be a lot of topics that we will be discussing. So later on, I'll be discussing to you the overall flow of our topics for the with regards to our with regards to our syllabus, I will be sending it through your TLC and also through your email for some of you who haven't accessed the TLC yet. Before I continue, Don, are you still the president? Si Don pa rin ba ang president?
Yes po, sir.
Okay. So, I might get all of your TOA email shortly so that I can make my announcements both in the TLC and on emails. Okay, so moving forward, going back to what I was talking about, leadership. Okay, so I really need you guys to help yourself and also help me help you. Okay, so syempre, kung noon pa man, di ba, when we were in physical classes, ang hirap namang hula kung how can we help you students, much more right now that we are in remote areas. Okay, we don't see each other physically and we actually don't know what's really happening behind the screen. Okay, so I would really appreciate it if you would come up to me, tell me how can I help you much better when it comes to our course this semester. Okay, so moving on, with regards of course to our mission, each and every one of you as clinician, when you go to your clinical years, it will always be reminded to you that you need to have this mission inculcated in your DNA and also the core values. So our goal is to of course promote the formation of each and every one of you into becoming an integrally developed, a competent and a productive and a socially responsible citizen of our country. So I know, and I'm actually very proud of your batch. Okay, so Dean Rodriguez was very much vocal about how well you did last semester, and I'm very thrilled because some of you were actually my students when we were in HIS and some during your CPH, and I'm very excited to be reunited with most of you right now. Okay, specifically yung mga students ko before. And of course, I'm excited for those students. I think most are O5. Most are O5 who will be under me for the first time with a lecture. So I'm very excited. So hopefully we'll be able to help each other learn even more the semester. So with regards to our core values, siguro daanan na lang din natin before I proceed to our subject. So, TUA core values is very important. So, I just want to highlight integrity, of course, excellence, innovation, teamwork, and social responsibility. As early as now, okay, as early as now, I would highly encourage you guys to create teams. I know that some of you coming from your first year sections before were really close already. Like, take for example, sila, I think I saw Mark here eh. Like, take for example, Mark and Sam, they really been working together since HIS. I don't know if that's the case until now, but I will just pick it up as an example. What I'm trying to say here, guys, is that all of you, okay, all of you need to work together, okay? Gone are the days when I know that there will always be competition between students, but this is also the time to also help each other, okay? I have been telling this to the third year when they were second years. And the only time they realized that they really need to do teamwork was when they were on the clinical subjects already. So a lot of the things, okay, a lot of the things that will actually hinder us in our academic journey is not actually the difficulty understanding the topics, but actually surviving the semester and surviving the course. And you would need each other to do that. Okay, so you would hear me every now and then coach you on how you can do it better or how you can help each other when it comes to your academics. So really help each other, okay? And me saying help each other, I do not mean, okay? I don't mean na you will be helping each other by teaching them during exams or quizzes. But of course, we want to highlight integrity and excellence all the time. What I'm trying to say here this time is that for those who will be excelling in this course, okay? For those who will be excelling in this course, I always highly encourage my students who are excelling in a particular course to also help their other classmates. If you would check the third year right now, they actually meet every now and then in a Google Meet. Okay? They form a Google Meet and then they try to teach each other topics that they don't understand. Okay? Because time will come when Kaasi understand the topic but John Renon doesn't. So John Renon, on the other hand, would also have topics that only he can understand very well that Kaasi doesn't understand very much. So nakikita niyo yun, it will be a symbiotic relationship among your class and it will strengthen your bond as a class as well. So moving on, we really need to work all together in passing this subject. So when I say working all together, you know what I mean? Hindi ko naman sinabing magtutulungan tayo sa pamamagitan ng pag-cheat. Okay? So moreover, di ba? Let's start now with our subject. So maybe most of you are asking what is quale? What is quality assurance, instrumentation, and laboratory entrepreneurship? I have talked to some third year. There were some second years now asking them about quale already. So let me just go around, not go around, but virtually lang. Let me go over the list and ask some of you to share um what are your expectations about Quale. So let's start with Betito Jonas. Okay. Jonas, narinig ba ako ni Jonas? Hello? Hindi yata ako naririnig. Hello, can you hear me guys?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yes po.
Okay, baka si Jonas yung hindi wait lang, baka he's having umuwi ata si Jonas sa kanila, di ba? So sige, let's start na lang with Christine Ano Nuevo. Sir, sorry, bathroom break lang po. Okay. Okay.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon. Yeah, ikaw Christine, what's your expectation when you read about Quale?
Ako, sir, nag-base na lang po kung sinabi niyo po kanina na may mga topics po na makakatulong po para mas maintindihan po namin yung mga subjects po namin sa clinical year po namin. Kumbaga, magiging structure po siya kahit papano for better understanding po in the future. Yun
Okay.
po.
Ayan. So thank you so much, Christine. Ayan.
Ito po.
So, thank you. Okay, let's move on naman. Let's ask who else? Let's ask Almora. Nandito si Almora. Dayan.
Hi, sir.
Hi.
Expectation po, sir.
Yeah.
Ano po, since first time po to, so parang ano lang po, expectation po is madami pong matutunan. Like, more understanding po. And understanding and knowledge po para sa future references po, lalo na po sa course na medtech po. Yun lang po, sir.
Okay. Thanks, Dayan. Okay. I don't know if you also noticed na, no, but most of your subjects this SEM are handled by CMT. So you really are transitioning to the clinical subjects already. You have Histo, LMI, you have, what else ba? MedTech Laws, you have my subject. So a lot of your subjects are actually already preparing you, transitioning you to your clinical year. So, guys, ganito ha, kapit lang, okay? For those of you who are struggling last semester, we really need to work on that para makuha the perfect calibration onto which you will perform at your best. Okay? So, let me go ahead and share to you what is Quale. So, Quale, kanina ko pa sinasabi kanina, it is quality assurance, instrumentation, and laboratory entrepreneurship. So by saying that, okay, this course will entail 54 hours of lecture classes. So we will be meeting 3 hours a week, okay? 2 hours rather. 2 hours a week. So that 2 hours will be for the entire semester. So we only meet once a week. So every meeting will be very much important. For your laboratory, you will be meeting your laboratory professors very very soon. So you only will be meeting once a week then. So having said that now, okay, so your qualis actually composed of three distinct topics. One is quality assurance, one is instrumentation, the other one is laboratory entrepreneurship. Okay? Laboratory entrepreneurship. So let us proceed by first introducing the quality assurance part. The quality assurance is about quality control, management of the laboratory, and making sure the accuracy and reliability of our results. I don't know if you have ever wondered how can we trust a particular paper released by the laboratory that in itself is a result of a particular patient, that result will help the physician identify the particular disease of your patient. The answer is quality assurance. Okay, the answer is quality assurance. Time will come that not all the things that will be released by the laboratory will be accurate. There will be time like that talaga. But that is what we are preventing. Okay? That is what we are preventing of into happening every single day in the laboratory. So what I'm trying to say this time is that when it comes to quality assurance, we're talking about how to maintain the three major factors of your quality control, and that is your machines, that is your reagent, and also most importantly your clerical staff or your medical technologist itself. So those three factors are key players on the maintenance, on the quality assurance of our laboratory. Okay? Let us take an example. I don't know if you have heard news before that there are patients that are testing false negative and false positive in a particular COVID-19 test kit, whether that is antigen or antibody. Okay? That false negative and false positive are actually expected in a particular testing. Okay? In a particular testing. If you would go around and ask medical technologists, they will not be surprised that there will be instances such as those. Why? Because there is a certain sensitivity and specificity of a particular laboratory examination. So the things that I'm saying right now will be further elaborated when we go to the different topics of quality control. So specificity, sensitivity, those are the things that we're gonna talk about here. The accuracy and the precision. How do we make sure? How do we measure the accuracy and precision of a particular test? And by merely looking at this one, okay, this is an example of a Levy-Jennings chart. And by merely looking at this one, you would identify days where there are errors in the test. Okay, so nakikita nyo yan, the red, my pointer right now, this is 22S, this is R4S, this is 10X. Those are errors, okay? Those are rules that have been violated in this particular chart. And each of these error represent a particular this violation rather represents a particular error in the laboratory. So if this happens, you would identify, okay, it might be the three things that I mentioned to you kanina. So I hope you're writing this down. It can either be your machine, it can either be your reagent, or it can either be your medical technologist that is having errors on their part. So those are the things that we're gonna talk about quality assurance. And before moving ahead, I believe that key and important terms in quality control has been introduced to you before in your PMLSP one. So we have here your intra-laboratory quality control and the inter-laboratory quality control, or the internal and external QC. Anybody who can differentiate the two? Okay, kung wala, magtatawag ako. Okay, so yes, it's official. Start na talaga ng klase. So what is the difference between your internal QC and external QC? Okay? Okay, akala ko nag-raise ng hand si Busa Jack, nag-left ng meeting. Okay, what is the difference or what, oh yeah, differentiate the two. Or what is the similarity between the two? Okay, let's call, ayan. Let's go to, sige, let's go with Kaasi. Is Kaasi here? O Nicole?
Can you hear me, sir?
Yeah, you're audible.
Okay po. Yung sa difference between internal and external quality control. Siguro po yung internal quality control is yung namomonitor yung araw-araw na production or yung reproduction po ng mga errors, yung decision. Po. Tapos yung
What about the external?
External quality control naman po is parang nakadepend siya sa internal ng quality control wherein i-assess mo naman po yung mga na-detect na differences.
Okay.
Ayun po.
Okay, thank you, Nicole. Ayan. So, ayan no, syempre hindi ko muna i-explain agad. Pero the idea is there for Nicole. Okay, the idea is there for Nicole. So, external and internal, hopefully by our meeting next Wednesday, alam nyo na yung definitions ng dalawang yon. So, internal, external, accuracy, precision, sensitivity, specificity, those are the things that we're gonna talk about. So, thank you so much for that. So, aside from quality assurance, di ba? Quality assurance whereby we make sure the quality, the accuracy, and the reliability of our test results in the laboratory. Of course, we're also gonna talk about this time your instrumentation. So, when I say instrumentation, these are the different machines and instruments that are being used in the laboratory. So, of course, before tayo nag-come up with the result, measure muna yan. Okay? We measured the level of the glucose, the cholesterol, triglyceride, name it, whatever it is being measured in the laboratory using a particular and a specific machine or an instrument. So on your screen right now, this is actually the structured, a deconstructed parts of your spectrophotometer. So what is a spectrophotometer? What is spectrophotometry? We will be discussing that along with other instruments in the laboratory. I believe that most of you are very much acquainted with microscope already, correct? All of you are very much acquainted with microscope, how to use the microscope, but not all of you are very much familiar with our spectrophotometer. Not only spectrophotometer, but we're gonna talk about other instrumentation, other machines in the laboratory in our 18 weeks of discussion. Okay, in our 18 weeks of discussion, so we will be discussing a lot of the different instruments, not only in clinical chemistry. So hopefully you still remember the different sections in the laboratory. So not only clinical chemistry, we're also gonna talk about hematology, the one that they use to count your platelet, RBC, WBC. We're gonna talk about those. The one that are being used in the sterilization, in the counting of colony for your bacteria, for your parasites. We will also be discussing those. And even in the testing of your urine and other body fluids, we will be discussing all the instrumentation that is under all of those things. Most specifically, okay, the reason why I'm telling you guys that your quale is actually an introduction to your clinical subjects, because starting today, we're gonna introduce to you concepts and topics that will be important on your third year. Okay? So sana, alauna man ngayon, you just finish your lunch and maybe you're feeling drowsy already. Okay? Inaantok ka na, kinukuha ka na ng kadiliman, pues lumaban ka. Okay? Because all the things that we're gonna discuss starting next meeting will be very much important as your foundation when you reach your third year. Okay? So, of course, before I forgot, another key component of our subject, the QUALE, the LE, is laboratory entrepreneurship. So we're going to discuss some key concepts when it comes to entrepreneurship and establishing a laboratory. So much of this will just be introduction because um, concurrently, you're also taking up laboratory management, an in-depth explanation on how to manage and establish a particular laboratory will be elaborated there further. So, going back to Quale, I want everybody to remember that this is CMT Elect 2. So, this is the course code of our subject. So, the course description is that it is a course that will deal with a quality assurance, instrumentation, and laboratory entrepreneurship that is specifically designed to introduce to you the fundamentals of laboratory robotics. Okay, laboratory robotics that are being used in the testing, in the monitoring, and in the diagnosis of a particular disease. So it's very important for all of you to be much familiar with this different robotics, with this different instruments and apparatuses, machines in the laboratory, not only the microscope. So by saying that, yes, we're still gonna talk about microscope, but microscope and many others as well. Okay, so in addition to that, we are also going to talk about relevance of quality assurance in the total operation of healthcare institution. So quality assurance, for the information of everybody, is not just exclusive to your laboratory. There is QA in your pharmacy and other departments of the hospital. Okay? So siguro for you guys to have an idea, no, quality assurance is making sure that all of the things that you will be releasing from the laboratory are of good quality. Take for example, isn't it in a factory? Take for example, yung mga cell phones that has defect. Okay? Take for example, it's a Arinola, di ba? Meron yung kanta ni DJ Bombay. Ewan ko kung naabutan nyo pa. Yung Arinola daw na nasa loob yung hawakan, di ba? So, obviously, that is a problem of quality assurance, di ba? Dapat, when we release a particular result, the name is there, all of the factors that would contribute to the diagnosis are all there. Okay? Hindi yung magulo, hindi yung erroneous, yung results na ating i-release. Okay? In addition to that, okay, we're also gonna talk about the general concept. Okay, the general concept of entrepreneurship and establishing a clinical laboratory business. Okay, so starting that part will be from the that will be on the finals period. So later on, I'll actually try to show you guys. Okay, one moment ha. I'll actually try to show you guys a quick run through of all the topics that we're gonna discuss. So sana wag kayong ma-overwhelm, okay? So I'll be sending the syllabus to you by next meeting. In addition to that, hopefully later by the end of our discussion, by the end of our class, you will start to check your TLC. Make sure that you are enrolled in my courseware. Okay? So there. So these are the things that by the end of our course, all of you will be expected to be able to elucidate the core concept of QA in the quality in the clinical laboratory. So a lot of the medical technologists, even after they graduate, they're actually confused with QA and QC. So the biggest question is QA under QC or QC is the one under QA? So we're gonna talk about that in the coming days. So At the same time, all of you should be able to identify and explain the different components of your quality assurance in the laboratory. Same thing with what I asked Ms. Kaasi a while back to define. You should be able to define not only internal and external QC, but all other components that play an important role in quality assurance. Third, you should be able to explain the importance of quality assurance in each of the clinical laboratory section. I cannot overemphasize this because even if we are having different sections in the laboratory, a lot of you, okay, even if we have a lot of sections in the laboratory, all of them are unified, all of them are in unison into making sure that all the results that they will be releasing are actually of good and reliable. So please make sure that all of you guys will be able to understand that. So why am I saying all this course learning outcomes? Because I want you that every now and then, diba, every prelim, every midterm, you will be able to reflect on yourselves. Diba? Ask yourself, am I able to explain these topics right now? Am I able to identify and explain the different components this time? Am I able to explain the importance of QA to other people now? So those are our goals, okay? I don't want you to just be memorizing machine, memorizing what is this, what is that, and what is this, okay? Because we're not just playing with memorization this time. We're gonna be really analyzing, correlating, and of course, not just memorizing all the topics in the syllabus and in our discussion. You really need to understand it by heart, okay? So moving on, okay, you should also be able to demonstrate technical competencies in using the different instrument in the clinical laboratory. I totally understand that this is one of our limitation in this particular time, but there will be a virtual laboratory prepared for our quale. So I think it will start around midterms, okay? The virtual laboratory will begin around midterms with regards to the quality control in the different sections of the laboratory. Okay, and lastly, of course, open-minded ba kayo? Because sooner or later, um, you'll become business owners when you establish your own laboratory. So you should also be able to elucidate first the importance of entrepreneurship in the world of healthcare. Okay? So moving forward, okay, let's talk about the course requirements. Hopefully all of you are still awake. Okay. So far, do you have any questions, clarification that you want to make? Or am I clear so far? Can I see a raise of hands if we're clear? Okay, thank you so much. Thank you, thank you. Okay, so moving on. So these are the course requirements that we will be having. So first and foremost, you have your major examinations. Uh, Later on, I'll explain the nitty-gritty of the major exams and the online quizzes. We also have here, second is your online quizzes, your journal readings, which I will be explaining once all of you are in the TLC, and that will be next Wednesday. So the first part of our discussion next meeting will be on the journal readings because you would need to submit two journal readings, one for the midterms and one for the finals. So I'll explain to you what will be the arrangement on your journal readings. In addition to that, there will also be chapter readings and assignments for you to be able to have not just an advanced but an in-depth understanding of all the topics that we will be discussing. So in addition to that, we also have group discussions. So for the group discussions, this is not only for the lecture but also for the laboratory. Okay, also for the laboratory. Okay, let's talk about the grades. Okay, let's talk about the grades. What is the passing rate for Quale? Anyone? What is the passing rate for Quale? What is the passing rate? Any idea? What is the passing rate? 70% sabi ni John Reynon. 75, ay gusto mataas ni. Okay, tataasan po natin dahil sabi po ni Barry 4, 75. Okay. So the answer is 70. Okay, the passing rate is 70. Although as you know, 'di ba? We are transmuting your scores. So the passing is 70 and then it will be transmuted to 75. But for Ariel, okay? But for Ariel, 75 daw gusto niya. Okay? 75 ba tayo? Okay. Kidding aside, okay, it will just be 70. Okay? 70 lang. So, mind you, no, 75 was really hard. When I was in third year, 75 yung amin, tapos wala siyang transmutation. Zero base siya. So, kung, gets niyo yun? So, kung zero ka. Ganon. So, for your subject, we'll be using 70% passing rate. Okay? So, let me just reiterate this to you guys, okay? I am your lecturer and 60% of your grade will be coming from me by the end of this course, okay? By the end of this course. Alisin natin yung notion na okay lang na okay lang na pumapalya ako sa ibabawi ko sa lab. That is actually not always the case. Because as you can see, lecture is 60%. You cannot just say if you are failing in your lecture, you cannot just say na okay, I'll just do well on the lab. No, it's not the case. Okay, because I carry 60% of your grade, and you need to really do your best and perform very well in not only in recitation but in all of the requirements that will be given. Your 60% is comprised of your class standing 60% and your major exams, which are 40%. Your class standing is composed of three major components. These are your quizzes, which are 30%, recitation that are 10%, journal critiquing, case analysis, group discussion, and I love to put up group discussion boards in the PLC. So that is 20%, a total of 60%. Then the other 40 will be coming from your major exams, okay? Will be coming from your major exams. So a big chunk of your grades will actually be coming from your quizzes and your major exam is a total of 70% already. Okay? So you really need to do very well on your quizzes, on your exams all the time. So for our lecture final grade, 40% of that will be coming from your midterms. So we will be conducting a grade consultation for your midterm grade. But you will be receiving, this has been my practice since last semester. You will be receiving messages from me, especially I post the top scorers in every quizzes and exams. I post them, and I also message those who didn't do very well on the quizzes. I message them so that I would have an idea what had happened to that particular student. Okay? So if you happen to receive a message from me like that, I want you to be open so that I would be able to help you and we can still remedy some of the things that needs to be fixed before finals. Sir, did that happen last semester? Yes. I have a few students who actually have not met the cutoff in during the midterm grade. And then I closely monitor them. I message them every now and then with their scores, reminding them of their standing. And lo and behold, during the finals, they were able to pass. Okay, they were able to pass. So having said that, now I want that to also be our system so that we'll be able to make sure that there is no one left behind in this course. Okay, so one moment, I'll just have to answer this. Okay. So for the laboratory, have you met your laboratory professors, by the way? Have you met them? Or have you met your lab prof already? Uy, pwede kayo sumagot ha. Masyado tayong formal.
Hindi
Have
pa
you
po.
met your lab prof?
Hindi pa po, sir.
Hindi pa. Okay. So hopefully you'll be able to meet them. O1, no? Sige, I'll check who is handling O1. Okay? So, moving on, okay? This is your laboratory, ha? This is your laboratory. So, this will be explained na lang by your laboratory professor. No need to take a photo of any of this because I'll be sending in a copy of the orientation PowerPoint for your reference. For the rating sheet for the journal critiquing, this will be our rubrics. In addition to that, in addition to the rubrics, I will also be sending you the guidelines and the guide questions. All will be posted in your all will be posted on your TLC very very soon. Okay, so for the recitation, these are our criteria. So you should always speak clearly and audibly using English language. So starting next Wednesday, okay, not only for Sam, okay, but for the recitation, you all need to speak English during recitation. So display confidence and effective communication, and in the discussion of answers, show respect to instructor when asked to explain the case in point, display respect to classmate and cohort during the deliberation of the case in point, exhibit maturity when asked by the instructor to elaborate the answers, show readiness in responding the fundamental questions, display critical thinking in decision in discussion of answers in relation to the case in point or the topic, exhibit accurate interpretation of the clinical laboratory data, cite journal readings, articles, and the discussion of answers, and acknowledges with respect with corrections made by the instructor. Okay? So, those are the things that I want you guys to remember starting next week when we have our full blast lecture already. So far, do you have any questions or clarifications? They have questions? Sige lang, magtanong, huwag mahihiya. They have questions? None? So can we proceed? Can I see a raise of hands if I can proceed na with the orientation? Okay, thank you so much. So moving on, let's talk about the different rules that will be implemented. Some will be a reiteration and reminders only, but please make sure to always abide to all of this. So first and foremost, the policies for our virtual classes. So all of you should sign in before the class start. So it happens, I was actually surprised that you doesn't have the link. So please make sure you have a copy of the link already. I'll also try to post this on our TLC and through our email. So ganun ako ha. I will always post in TLC and email. So please always check your email and your TLC. So all of you should be here 1 p.m. So I guess you're coming from a lunch break. Okay, I guess you are all coming from a lunch break. So meaning to say, you're not coming from another class. So hence, I would want every one of you to be here at exactly 1 p.m. on the dot. So when 1 p.m., when it is already 1 p.m., okay, when it is already 1 p.m., we will start automatically with your quizzes. Okay, so with your quizzes. So 1 p.m. is our call time, and 1 p.m. will be the start of our discussion and our quizzes all the time. So please make sure to log in beforehand. So students shall participate in your online discussion specifically because this is your lecture. Recitation is 10% of your grades. So students shall submit all the course requirement as specified by the faculty instructors. I will be preparing a calendar of activities for our lecture. So please make sure that you will take note all of the submissions that will be in there. Again, always check your TLC and always check your email for announcements. Yes, you do have your president Don, but he is not your parent to remind you every now and then of all the submissions that you need to make. Okay? At huwag niyong sisisihin si Don kung may makalimutan kayong isubmit kasi hindi niyo alam. Okay? From this day on, I want you to be very much responsible and accountable with all of your actions. Sooner or later, you'll become professionals. I'll treat you as professional starting today. So I would expect responsibility I would expect that all of you would be responsible and accountable in all of the activities that we will be having in Quale. Moving on, students, on the other hand, who have connectivity concerns shall email me right after our orientation. Okay? All of you should, any of you who has connectivity concerns shall email me your concern. I want a brief email. I want a formal email ha. Put the title there, put the subject there, and include your concern. So that kapag synchronous discussion, at take for example, if it is a synchronous discussion and I cannot find you, I would first have the benefit of the doubt for you that probably that is your connection. Okay? If not, okay, so baka late ka lang talaga. When it comes to our synchronous and asynchronous platform, both for Google Meet and TLC, inform me as well if you cannot sign in. So later, I'll give you a quick time to check if you already have your courseware in your TLC. Okay? Because I believe the batch advisors already submitted the format for the sections. Okay? So, what else? In cases of sickness and emergency situations in your family, I would highly appreciate if you would inform me as soon as possible. Okay? As soon as possible. Why? Because it's very important. Your absence will be very much noticed. So, kunwari absent ka, di ba? Tapos you did not inform me. Okay? Any missed exams, quizzes will not be given to you anymore. Okay? Let's have an agreement. Okay? Let's have an agreement. You can inform Don, but you should inform me as well. Wag yung si Don lang yung i-inform ninyo na wala kayo sa class. I want to be the one being updated, not only the president. So if you cannot come to class because of any situation at home, you should inform me. Okay? Inform me first. So right now we'll be doing a orientation on the conduct of quizzes and major exams, practical examinations. That is 3 slides from now. So I'll just do that in a short while. So students are expected to abide with the online CMT virtual classes etiquette. And of course, 9th, provisions on the campus-based quizzes and major exams are the same with the online quizzes. Okay? The same with the online quizzes. So much of that will be elaborated shortly. So let us go to the virtual etiquette first. Okay? So first and foremost, be punctual. So I'm expecting, wala naman na sigurong tulog sa inyo nito. Alauna na ng tanghali. So 1 p.m., you'll all be here in class. So always come prepared. You will be having your syllabus, you'll be having your calendar of activities. So I'm expecting that no one will be coming in with no knowledge about what we're gonna do. Okay, so if I say go to the TLC, we'll have a quiz. So all of those will be announced. Later, I'll explain how our quizzes will be. Okay, so always be come to class well groomed and with a neat backdrop. Having said this time, okay, sasabihin niyo siguro, sir, naka-off naman camera ko. That's the thing this time. So I would encourage some of you to turn on your camera starting next meeting. Okay? All of you would need to turn on your camera. That's why, again, I would need some of you, kung may connectivity issue ka, mag-email ka sa akin mamaya after our orientation. But if your internet is working perfectly, you will be turning on your camera. Am I clear? Can I see a raise of hands if I'm clear? Okay. So I need you guys to turn on your camera starting next week. Okay? So having said that, make sure that there is a noise-free space. No eating and smoking. I would understand if you have a cup of coffee to keep you sane and awake the entire 2 hours until 3 p.m. because this is really the darkest hours. Okay, so I would go and I would allow you. Okay, I would allow you with your coffee. Ayan, gusto ko tuloy mag-coffee bigla. No playing with house pets. Okay, so wag mo na mag-play with house pets. Use English language when answering and addressing some concerns. Avoid multitasking. Question, do you have other class after me? What is your next class after Quale?
Wala na po, sir.
Talaga? Aga niyo matatapos Okay, so at least I don't have to compete with other subjects that will come after my class. So use effective and respectful communication and engagement. So always acknowledge yourself if you want to say something, if you want to recite, acknowledge yourself by raising your hand or by chatting your name on the chat box on our Google Meet so that I can acknowledge you. Okay? I can acknowledge you. So walang mag-aaway sa Google Meet. Okay? In addition to that, okay, for male and female, you should have a short hair, no earrings for male, and of course, for the female, tie the hair, always tie your hair, and no loud facial cosmetics and hair colors. So, dapat yung mga makeup nyo, mga no makeup lang. Okay? Yung mga woke up like this, peg lang muna. Okay? So, no nail polish. Okay? So, no nail polish. So, your hair, you should be presenting yourselves properly. Okay? So, starting next week, I don't want to constantly remind this, okay? Pagpasok sa class, turn on your camera, mute your mic. That's always the thing that we're gonna do. Wag na yung, okay class, turn on your camera, okay? Because those people who doesn't have their cameras on, I will check their attendance talaga to know if they are really there. Okay? So there were instances when I had students nasa car habang nagkaklase, nag-e-exam nasa car, 'di ba? Those things pinapalampas ko. Pinapalampas ko naman. I'm very lenient with that for as long as they are in my class participating and listening carefully and intently, of course. Okay? So for male and female, okay, wear decent clothes and smart casual clothes. So are usually a shirt with a round neck with collar and pants and foot cover. So sir, sasabihin nyo, sir, hindi naman nakikita yung pants at yung foot. Basta make sure na pag nakita ko man yan, naka-pants at naka-shoe cover ka if ever mag-appear yan sa camera. And in addition to that, I don't want to see student wearing sleeveless clothes. I have students before, 'di ba? Talagang yung mga pang-workout sando pa nila yung suot nila during class. Hindi po ito online workout. Okay, hindi po tayo mag-tutorial ng pagbubuhat ng barbell dito. Hindi po ito yung perfect area to flex what you want to flex. Okay? So sa ibang araw nyo gagawin 'yon. Sa PE, ay wala na pala kayong, may PE pa ba kayo guys? Ay may PE pa kayo. Okay? Doon nyo na sa PE gawin 'yan. Okay? Doon na kayong mag-flex. Okay. Moving forward, let's go to the online quizzes. Okay. For the online quizzes, it will be administered through TLC. It can be accessed through the TUA Learning Cloud. Maybe some of you will be asking, sir, are we gonna use the Safe Exam browser? Are we going to use the Safe Exam browser? We'll keep you posted and I'll announce it before our first quiz. Okay. So I highly encourage you guys to use laptop during classes, especially during exams, because phones are unreliable kapag long period of usage. So our quizzes will be roughly 30 seconds to 1 minute for multiple choice questions and identification questions, of 1 to 5 minutes for essay and computations. Okay, for essay and computation. And of course, essay and computation and quizzes should be finished within the time allotted. So if the time is already finished, you cannot take the exam. So if you're late, whatever, like for example, you came in late, there's only 5 minutes, you can still take the quiz, but only for 5 minutes. No extension. Okay? So no backtracking is allowed. All of your quizzes will be sequential. All of you should remain in the Google Meet link during quizzes. I guess you all know this. And all cameras shall be open during quizzes. Later on, I'll show you the orientation of the camera. So I hope all of you heard Dean Rodriguez when she said that the PRC, okay, the PRC is already considering having an online board examinations. So with that, we need to be prepared. So consider this as a preparation and not us doubting you or not us not trusting you, but rather preparing you for a future online board examination. Okay? So background noise must be avoided during the quizzes. So all of your mic should be mute. You only have one attempt allowed per quiz. And once the quiz is submitted, the answers are all final. So missed quizzes will result to a 0 mark. So let us define what are missed quizzes. Missed quizzes are, take for example, you're late in class, the quiz is already finished, you don't have valid reason, you're just really late, then you will be receiving a 0 mark. What else? Take for example, you do have a valid reason, but you failed to inform me prior to your absence or even a day after your absence, then that will result to you getting a 0 mark. Am I clear? So, hindi ko na yun uulit-ulitin ha. That will be our rule. So, when I say this, no negotiation anymore. So, we need to be more disciplined when it comes to this. So, it's your responsibility to inform me if there are concerns, if you will be absent and you will not be able to take the quiz. Okay? So for students who will be missing the quizzes, your quiz will be in a form of an oral revalida. Okay? It will be in a form of an oral revalida. I'll give you the question, you will answer me right then and then. So that will be the case for our online quizzes. Okay, so I hope I made myself clear. Okay, so let's go now to the major exams. Your major exams will only be 3 for the lecture. No semifinals anymore. So we have your prelim, your midterms, and your finals as well. So your prelim and midterms is already scheduled. Your prelim will be March 1, 2, and 3. Midterms will be the week before Holy Week. So I just want to announce that we will be having a institutional health break. So after ng midterm exam, meron tayong 1 week na walang pasok. Okay? There is a 1 week na walang pasok. Nagkataon, okay, coincidentally, that health break will fall within the Holy Week. So instead of us having classes Monday to Wednesday of the Holy Week, we will be finishing after the midterm exam, Good Monday, from Monday all throughout to Saturday, there will be no classes for that particular week. Okay? So prelim, midterms, and finals only. So same thing. Okay, excuse. So same thing with your classes before. You only have 1 hour and 30 minutes for your exams. Okay, 1 hour, 30 minutes for your exam. And the examinations will be multiple choice and a mix of matching type, identification, case study, and essay for the part 2. Okay? So students who will be missing one or both parts must notify the instructor immediately and submit a formal letter of explanation within the same day. No makeup exam will be given to students who fail to notify their instructor. Am I clear? And of course, unless announced, examinations will follow the remaining guidelines for online quizzes. So, did I make myself clear when it comes to our online quizzes and exams? Am I clear with that, guys?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. So in addition to that, every meeting we will be having a quiz in the lecture. Okay, so the first 15 to 20 minutes of the class will always be allotted for the quizzes. Okay, it will be allotted for the quizzes. So expect that starting um we'll see. Probably not this Wednesday, but on kailan ba yan? One moment. I think that would be Feb 10. Okay, Feb 10 will be the start of your quizzes. So Feb 10 will be the start of our quizzes. Um, I might actually give post quizzes. So take for example, may lecture tayo ngayon. Right after our lecture, we'll be having a quiz of the topic that we just discussed. So all of those things will be announced naman ahead of time and will be included in our calendar of activities. For the camera setup, this is what will be required. So hopefully, ayan, you actually don't need to buy a new webcam if hindi pa yun yung priority ngayon sa inyong bahay, specifically because syempre unahin natin yung question. You can use your phone. When you use your phone, okay, make sure that it is oriented this way. An orientation whereby we can see the desk and the monitor of the student. Am I clear with that? So, take for example, a student asked me this morning, "Sir, what if I'm using iPad? Should I open the camera in the iPad and then use my phone pa?" Yes. I told them na no need na for the iPad kasi daw nawawala daw yon. They only need to open the camera. So again, I will be checking the orientation of your camera. So you can use a phone stand, okay? Or just use a platform where you can place your phone on an angle whereby I can see your desk, your and then your monitor. I don't want to see just the back of your ano ha, just just your back and then yung monitor. I want to see even the desk. So basta ganitong orientation. So we are announcing it as early as today so that you will be able to fix this. Um, Students who will not be having such orientation of camera cannot take the quiz during our first quiz. Okay, so please fix your cameras already, fix your area already so that you'll be having this type of orientation. For announcement of class suspension, okay, guys, okay, I know that all of you are very much eager to hear announced class suspensions, but always remember that a lot of the universities that are suspending early are not in QC. They are in Manila. And the Manila government is much faster in suspension than QC. So, with regards to class suspension, always wait for the official announcement of TUA and do not post, alam niyo, do not post sana all, maghintay na lang kayo ng announcement. Okay? Why? Because in TUA, we have specific class suspensions. So not all the time. Take for example, there's a typhoon. Sometimes what we're going to suspend is only the synchronous or the live classes. But you will still have your asynchronous classes. Okay? So if you have your asynchronous classes, technically, we will not be meeting naman na live. Okay? And there will also be instances where both of your synchronous and asynchronous classes will be both suspended. Okay? So, kalmahan lang natin. Okay? So, I am actually nearing the end. So if you have any questions, my consultation hours are every Mondays and Fridays 1:30 to 3, and then Tuesdays and Fridays 3 to 4:30. Okay? 3 to 4:30. So before I end, are there any questions, clarifications that you want to ask? May tanong ba? Sir, are you gonna dismiss us early today? Yes, most probably. May questions pa ba? Do you have any questions, clarifications? For those who missed the first part, I will be giving you a copy of the video recording. Again, are there any questions? Can I see na lang a raise of hands kung wala? So that I can make sure
Sir?
na... Yes.
Sir, yung kailan ko po isasubmit yung email namin po sa inyo?
Can you send it na sa akin later after na ano? You send it here. Wait lang doon na. I'll put my email. Kasi when you type in my name, meron akong isang email pad, but that is for my masters kasi. Okay, this is my email, jaganding@pua.edu.ph. Okay?
Sige po, sir.
Thank you. I'll be waiting na lang for the list so that I'll be able to have that. Expect the syllabus before Wednesday. Okay? Because I am also waiting for all of you to be officially enrolled before giving out the syllabus. So with that, before we end, please answer this quick survey. This is a device survey so that I'll be having an idea what are your devices, how are your connections, so that we'll be proactive when it comes to um, helping you out in your classes. So answer that. That will serve as your attendance today as well. Okay, so is it working? Can you confirm if the link or the QR is working?
Yes, sir. Gumagana po.
Okay, thank you so much. Okay, so please answer that. Okay, so on the last part, it will be requiring you to upload a COR. If you have your COR with you, better you submit it. If you don't have, just take a photo of your ID, okay, or just a file that just upload a file para lang maano siya, para lang ma-submit, okay? So please answer all that is applicable in your subjects, okay? So if ever hindi man ako yung professor niyo, we'll be forwarding some of the details to your professors. Okay? So can I see a raise of hand if all of you are answering the Google Meet already, the Google form already? Are you on the Google form already? Agulto, Agustin, are you answering na? Okay. Kaasi. Okay. So please answer it already. So I'll be ending my presentation. So if you don't have, do you have questions pa ba? Do you have any questions, clarification? Okay. So that's it. That is it for today, guys. So I'll be seeing you on Wednesday, 1 p.m. to 3 p.m. for our first lecture. So thank you so much. So this has been your Sir Joms. Thank you so much, and I'll see you guys next week. Okay, so goodbye. You may now leave the platform and make sure to answer the Google form. Okay, thank you so much. Oh, by the way, Sam, are you still here? Are you here in the Philippines?
No, sir.
Oh, okay. You went back to Guam?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Sige, sige.
Okay, thank you,
Okay.
sir.
All right. Please answer the please answer the Google form and then you can leave. Chidooks.
Sir? Sir, ano pong certificate of registration it's referring to? Pwede po yung screenshot ng student assessment form po.
Yeah. Mm-mm.
Oh, okay, sir. Thank you, sir. Tsaka, sir, pwede po ID rin, sir, no?
Mm-mm. But if you have your COR already, I prefer the COR.
Oh, pero if wala po, sir, pwede na lang po yung assessment form po.
Yeah, for
Okay,
the
sir.
meantime. Mm.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, if you're finished, you can actually leave the platform now. I'll see you guys on Tuesday. Sir, anong COR pala isasubmit? Sino? Sir, ano ulit isasubmit sa COR? Any file. Kung wala ka pang certificate of registration, you can submit a picture of your ID. Mariel, Nicole, Ariel, and Janrin, are you finished?
Di pa po. Sir,
Ay, di ba, sir?
tanong po ako.
Okay, sige.
Sir, may tanong po ako.
Yeah, go.
Sa ano po, yung sa is your Tua Pocket Wi-Fi working? Yung sa akin po, sir, gumagana naman po siya, kaso lang, hindi ko po nagagamit kasi mahina yung signal niya dito sa location po namin. Kaya di ko rin po siya nagagamit. Ano pong sagot ko? Yes pa rin po.
Wala bang sumunod na ano dyan? Ay, ang gawin mo na lang, pwede mong sagutin niya na yes, tapos di ba meron dun yung internet connection? Ay, ilagay mo na lang no, Nicole, para hindi na tayo magulo.
Sige
So
po.
you're using a different
Sige,
Wi-Fi.
sir.
You're using a different internet?
Opo, yung wifi namin sa bahay. Kaso di rin po mabilis.
Okay,
Minsan
sige,
po,
sige. Lagay mo na lang
nawawala-wala.
no. Mm.
Opo. Thank you, sir.
Okay.
Sir, kakapasko lang po.
Okay.
May
Yes.
question po, sir.
Mm.
About, naka-open po all throughout the class. Paano po if ever mag-bathroom break po, sir? We can just turn off the camera na lang po or we have to ask you the permission?
Ano na lang, turn off nyo na lang. Tapos, leave na lang siguro at chat na CR break lang. Para if
Okay.
ever ikaw yung matawag, di ba?
Okay. We have to, po, sir, tell you sa chat po.
Sa chat na lang.
Okay po, sir. Thank you po.
Okay.
Sir, yung i-check po na course sa survey, quasi-direct lang po, no? Sir.
Any na that applies.
Okay, sir.